Hey guys, this is Adarsh Mumbai here. Welcome to my channel, and so here's the story that I narrated, my original story that I narrated. I hope you all will enjoy, and please, if you think it's worthy of being heard, please do like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy. And Kosh for organizing such a beautiful event. For a change, I'm here with a story which resembles hope, and it is also one of the first stories that I wrote. It's called Name, and presenting before you all, Name. Pink sky, red lips, heavenly eyes, could she be an angel in disguise? Murmuring in his subdued and half-conscious voice, he rubbed his ajar eyes and sluggishly tilted towards the left edge of his bed, vaguely recalling his dreams, thinking to himself that was a weird dream. In fact, his incantations barely made sense. In an effort to make a literal sense, or at least trying to remember the phrase, he gradually repeated, pink sky, whiskey red lips, heavenly eyes, could she be an angel in disguise? So from here on, I will be giving you a summary because we have limited time. This is a story about a guy named Praveen, right? He's just gone through a very rough time where he's lost his job and he's back in Darjeeling. So he wakes up, right? And he wakes up with this phrase in his head and he can't make sense out of it. So next what he does is he gets a call from his friend. Okay, cheese. He gets a call from his friend and he goes ahead and he's like, okay, I'm late for this. So that's also his last day where he has to leave for another contract. He works in a cruise. So he goes ahead and he takes the call from his friend. He's already late. As soon as he looks at the clock, it's 8:07 turns to 8:08. Significance of time here. So then he goes to the bathroom, freshens up, and then he looks outside the window, which is really clean, besides his room, which is very disorganized because he's rushing. He's taking out the clothes that he wants to change. So he gets a call from his friend saying that I'll be there and pick you up in 5 minutes. So now he's changed, he checks his cell, perfume checked, wallet checked, phone checked. Okay, I'm ready to go. So he rushes towards the hall, right? And there is his sweet mom, right? He calls her mom. She tells him, Praveen, you're not going anywhere unless and until you eat. But then again, Praveen is in a rush. He's like, Ma, can I just... Then he's held by his mom. One of her hand has a roller pin, Belna, and the other one, she holds him by his shirt. So he remembers his childhood days when he used to wake up late and he wants to just rush to the school. So then, meanwhile, his friends come in while he's eating, and this guy, Martin, comes in, and he's a very loud extrovert. Sorry to extroverts if anyone is an extrovert here. So he comes in, screaming, "Hey, Praveen! What is it? What's taking you so long? Are you done with your makeup?" And he's, like a tiger who's there out for a hunt. And as soon as he steps onto the hallway, he looks at Praveen's mom, and he's like, "Hey, auntie, namaste." And he's like, all mellowed down. So then his ma asks him, "Are you hungry? You should join Praveen probably." And then he goes like, "No, auntie, I think I'm fine." And he, that all the mothers do, the smirk and like this, "Okay, are you sure?" Then he's like, "Okay, auntie, I think I have space for like paratha or two. That should be fine." So they eat together, and they're finally leaving towards the town. And his Praveen's ma gives him a long list stating that, okay, these are the things you need to bring for me. And then she hands him over a note of 2,000, and he says, "Ma, I earned, it's okay, you can have your money back." After that, they rush together and they reach to the bike outside their house that is parked there. And as they're about to leave, Praveen's ma screams, "Praveen!" Then he's like, "Okay, what's wrong?" Then Martin asks, "What did you do now?" "Oh, actually, I forgot to clear my room. It's pretty messed up. I think she's mad about it." And they rush. And that way they reach town, and as they reach near this place called Big Bazaar, which is like the public toilet of Darjeeling, as we all know who all are from Darjeeling, right? So they reach there, and as they are parking their bike, a vehicle, taxi just stops at a frog hair's distance. It's very close, and Praveen is about to turn and he's about to scream. But then this window rolls down slowly and then this is what happens. A taxi stopped. A taxi stopped at a hair's breadth to Ravi. He turned and was about to shout at the driver, but the second set of seats started to roll down gracefully. Inside sat a lady with palely tan complexion, aviators residing atop that tall nose, pierced on the right side with a fairly silver ring. A Cameron shaded pair of lips that looked as if they would melt if one were to touch them. Gently, and if the oceans have ever painted light caramel brown, it would exactly resemble her luscious hair. So this is the description of the girl that he sees. Now, she asked him, where Leninla Road is? And he goes, "You're like driving on it, right?" And then she's like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't realize." And they go. And Raveen is like, they flirt around a bit. And Raveen's friend is like, "Why didn't you ask her number? We could if we run, we could make it to her. And we could just get to talk to her and ask her." And Raveen comes out as a very introvert and shy person. So he's like, "Stupid, are you stupid? A girl like that would never look onto someone like us." Although he is a fashion photographer. Then moving forward, they go on with the day, right? And as the day goes on, Raveen is still thinking about that lady. Ever heard of love at first sight? Has anybody experienced it? Yeah? So I'm not the only one then. Neither is Ravin, of course. So he's thinking about it. He's constantly contemplating about this lady, whereas Martin, his friend, is loud. He's already started checking other girls out in the town, right? So as they finish their shopping at the end and in the evening when it's time to go home, Ravin says, "Okay, I'd like to part ways since it's my last day in town. I'll go, see Chaurasta. Why don't you take the stuff and give it to mom? Tell her I'll be home quick." And Ravin hesitates. Martin hesitates, but then Ravin is like, "Okay, it's the last day. Come on, do this for me, right?" So then Ravin goes on. He reaches Chaurasta, and there was a tea seller by the name Subhasta. If anybody knows him, he's he's no more there, so it's a small ode to him as well. So he talks with Subhasta, but everything goes off his head, and he's still thinking about that woman. He goes to the bookshop, he looks at a book, gets it, and as he's going down, then the magic happens. he walks down and he reaches near the town hall where the lady is standing, and he just rushes in towards the ATM to get some cash, right? Then he eavesdropped these two ladies who were talking about getting tea or like cafe and coffee, and then what happens is, have you heard of this? Is there any new cafe in town? She asks to her friend and the guard who's standing right beside them. And he says, I think it's. The guard says there's CCD if you want to go. Then she's like, CCD is like overrated. I mean, something fresh. Is there something, like that I can try out in Darjeeling? So then Raveen, out of courtesy, is like, excuse me, you could go to Java Cafe and Coffee. Darjeeling people probably know that place, Himalayan Java. So I'll read you the last paragraph, that's it. Excuse me, could you kindly tell us where the Himalayan Java is? The lady goes to Raveen, of course, and a much familiar voice this time. It clicked. Raveen suddenly knew this voice. He had heard this voice, the raspy, crispy voice, with a power to melt the polar ice caps. It was just this morning that the owner of this voice had generated a hurricane of emotions that turned the world upside down. It was the lady. It was the lady with the tall nose, that tall pierced nose, pale tan complexion, soft caramelized lips, which looked even softer, ever so delicate, that they could melt away any time. Light caramel brown, ocean-like hair. She could possibly stop smiling and turn. He couldn't possibly stop smiling and turn slowly to his surprise. Hey, it's the guy with the cool bike. Small world, isn't it? Raveen's jaw dropped. She seemed even prettier this time, with the streetlight falling on her face directly from atop, making her face look like more distinct this time. The rays of those drowning orange sun kissing her spotless skin. Now the aviators were replaced by her bare hazel brown eyes, leaving them naked, hypnotizing the onlookers. Those eyes, most beautiful of them all. No wonder she had hid them with those big aviators, eyes with the depth of universe itself. All the secrets it perceived, and his selfishly, all from the selfish world, eyes ever that was forever lost in them. Raveen was forever lost in them. Raveen's heart raced almost rhythmically. He chanted under his breath, "It all makes sense. It all makes sense." Pink sky, whiskey red lips, heavenly eyes. Could she be an angel in disguise? And the girl goes, "Sorry, I didn't get you." Nothing, apologies. I was just, talking to myself. I tend to do that. We're funny guy, aren't we? The girl goes. And then as they walk towards the setting of sun atop the hill, towards the Gymkhana club, he goes, "Oh, sorry, I forgot to ask you the name." That's the end of the story. Thank you.